Welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to be learning how to take accurate body measurement. The first thing you have to do is to tie a rope around the waistline of the customer to accentuate the waistline. After doing that, you can go ahead to take your measurement. Now, measurements is divided into two equal parts: the vertical direction and the horizontal direction. Vertical direction is taking measurement from up to down. For example, from the shoulder to the bust point, from the shoulder to the under bust, to the hip line, and to the floor level. As for horizontal measurements are all measurements taken across the body circumferences, just as taken round the bust, round the waistline, round the hip line, and so on. Now I want to show you how to take measurements from your customer. Trace this hairline. Place your measurements at the base of the neck this way. Then you can start reading shoulder to bust point. Bust point here is this your bust point? Bust point here is 10. Shoulder to under bust. In this case, we have 14.5. You should stop right under the bust. Then place your hand here. Then record shoulder to waistline. Here we have 15.5. You cannot just leave your tape rule and put it here. You have to place your hand right on the under bust to tape down your tape rule so that the points will not shift. Now we want to take the hip length. For you to take the hip, to read your hip length, hip level, you are going to locate the protruding part of the hip, that is the biggest part of the hip. That is where you are going to locate. That is where you are going to read as your hip measurement. Here we have 26. Now to the knee length, we have 40. To the floor length or the full length of the gown, depending on style you want to take measurement for. Right on the bone here on the leg, that's where you are going to read for the full length of your gown. Except the client wants it to be floor length, then your tape rule is going to touch the floor. In this case, we have 58. Over to taking horizontal measurements. I've told you that horizontal measurements are taken around the body circumferences. We are going to start by taking the bust measurements now. To take the bust circumference, you are going to wrap your tape measure around the bust points like this, making sure that it is at the same level where it is even at the back, like this. Your tape should be like this. It shouldn't snug this way or be bent. It should be straight. It should be at the same level as the point. Is that clear? So you are just simply going to glide to make sure that it's not too tight for your customer or too loose. If it is not at the same level at the back, you are not going to have accurate measurement. Is that taken? Same thing at your under bust. You are going to take right under the bust like this. Make it firm. Your under bust measurement should be taken firmly, but make sure a finger is behind the tape, but you have to take it firmly so that your cloth will be fitted on your client. If it is too loose, the cloth will not be fitted at the under bust, and the under bust has to be taken tightly so that your cloth will be fitted. I hope that is clear. Then right to the point you record as your hip length from the shoulder. Place your tape rule on that level. Make sure your hand, a finger is behind your tape rule, then glide it. To be sure, glide it upward like this, downward, upward, so that your client will be able to remove their clothes when they wear it, and you will be sure that it's not too tight for them. Those are the ways you take your horizontal measurement. Now we want to talk about the sleeve measurements and the back measurement. For you to take your back measurements accurately, there is this bone here Place your tape right on the bone and let it end at the other bone here. That is where you read for your back length. Now, from that point, to take your sleeve length, from that point where your back length ends, just simply place your tape rule there and measure your sleeve length downward, depending on how long you want the length of your sleeve to be. For short sleeve, you can measure 8 inches or 9 inches, 10 inches, depending on the preference of your client. For a 3/4 sleeve, ask your client to bend their elbow this way, then measure like this. Here we have 18 inches, 17, 18, depending on the choice of your customer. Then for a long sleeve, read it. Here we have 22 inches. Now we want to, at each length we recorded as our vertical measurement for the sleeve, you are going to take horizontal measurement and cross it. Here for the short sleeve, we measure 11. Now we are going to take our sleeve circumference for the short sleeve. Make sure a finger is behind it before you read it. Here we have 11.5. If you want to take the circumference of your elbow of your 3/4 sleeve, let me see, you are going to place it here. Place it here. Ask your client to bend their elbow. We want to be sure that after taking this measurement, we want to be sure that when they put on their cloth, that place is not too tight to resist their elbow from moving up and down perfectly. So that is why you have to tell them to bend their elbow, then take the measurement. As for the wrist, place it here, then place his finger behind it. Make sure it's not too tight or too loose, so that, but measure it in such a way that their fist will be able to come out from it when the cloth is on. So there's one other thing I would like to show you about taking the vertical measurement. You know, the other time when we took the front measurement with front half length, we started this way and took it here. So we read, if you are going to read the upper part of the tape rule, where this rope starts from, we are going to read it, record it as your front half length. Make sure when you take the back half length, you should record the upper parts also as your half length for the back. For you to take your back half length, there is a bone here on the neck. Place your tape rule right on that bone, then take it. Here we have 13.5. We have 13.5 here as the front back half length, while as the front half length we have 15.5. 15.5 for the front half length, then 13.5 for the back half length. The bust protrusion makes the front half length longer than the back half length. I know so many people will be wondering that how are we going to rectify that when the back half length is longer than the front half length? How is it going to rhyme at the side seam? The bust that is going to take care of that. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of this tutorial. I hope it is interesting. Like my video and share if you find it helpful.